The fact is, you can't deny that you are going to win as long as you use reality and use your wonderful energy access with all the sensors that are not just in your brain, but they're like all over your body. Your intestine has been now labeled as one of the biggest brains and endocrine organs that's in your body. Welcome back. Now we get to ascend the mountain of enlightenment in step-by-step fashion so that it all makes sense. This is part one in this whole module. And we've had the first section of this module. And what became clear to you? Well, it should have become clear that there is this dynamic that's going on between the positive and the minus, but that's all that's necessary for a current to run through or to have creation. So we're always going to have some resistance to have rewards. Otherwise, it wouldn't manifest, it wouldn't exist. So the resistance, people have been flummoxed by it throughout all history, going back thousands of years ago. There's no change in people's disagreements in history. If you look at Pliny from Rome and people from earlier days, they're complaining about the same thing. The younger generation and all this other stuff. So the thing is that the culture is either going to be one that's going to teach you to be like this. Remember here? Remember here? It's going to teach you to be like this. Remember, this is the Lohan. With his one finger only, he's controlling the dragon, the matrix down here. And you see, he's not even upset. He's like a perfect dog trainer. So if you look at the matrix like it's a dog, it's an animal, it's supposed to be a pet, it's supposed to be something there that's supposed to give you some, fun, excitement, even though it's there, but with no sweat and be powerful in it. And that's just the opposite of the way the planet's gone historically. And you're not going to be caught in that anymore. After today, with your techniques that you're going to learn, and the first technique was all the little steps that we took and then utilizing those on breathing. And so one of your homeworks is going to be that you're going to practice still doing that. As we get better and better doing that, you're going to practice still doing that as many times as you can during the day. And you will be amazed at how strong and powerful and how the Red Sea parts for you every day in places where you feel like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Then you're going to say, what am I going to do? Wait a minute. What am I going to do? There is no I. That's just some subjective pseudo-identity that gets created because to fit into some kind of tribe or group, depends on whether your I was in the Middle East or your I was in Greece or your I was in South Africa. People take on a group I just to fit into the crowd. Remember, I told you that's like 80% of the population anywhere. So there really isn't an I, it's something you decided. So if you decide that that I is just some reflex that's coming from conditioning of your amygdala, then it's easy to let go of it, especially when you realize it's so small, it's so not you. So you say, I'm worried. Well, worry is also an emotion, which unless it's really factual, you don't know if you should be worrying, which actually isn't valuable even when you find out that you're worrying, because what is going to stop all your worry? A solution. What's going to allow you to not stress out? Have a solution. Once you have a solution, there's no reason to worry because you just take care of it. So the most important step now that we're climbing up is that you're going to reorient yourself. You're going to reorient yourself from this thing called life, this huge thing that's all over the place with all this conflict and wars and people that push you around and post-traumatic stress syndrome and who caused this problem and who I couldn't get along with. And we're just going to leave all those influencers out of your life completely. And we're just going to let all of them be considered to be interesting information that we'll check and verify if it's useful. But if not, You don't want to follow something that wasn't working for somebody else, or follow the opposite just because they said orange and then you said some other color. I mean, that doesn't mean it's right. What's right each day depends on, like the guy in Chicago, what the weather is, or what the change in the ocean is, or what the change in the technology is, whatever you're going through. So the first thing is you've got to reorient, just like this wonderful, enlightened Lohan being, one of the hardworking ministers for Buddha, that has the matrix looking very small. So for people in treatments over the years, I've always told them, I said, listen, I know you're upset, and I know you're worried, I know you're angry, and I know you're really reactivated. But all reactivation, remember, comes from building this little guy up into being some huge thing, which it isn't. And how do you know that? Because as soon as you have the solution, it disappears completely. So if it was such a huge thing, then it would just persist, and it would continue, and it would go into your future, and you couldn't do anything with it. But yet we live as if that's happening. So you have to start with your breathing in, which one of the great 8 you need at the moment. I breathe in accelerated finances for the next 2 hours. Everything I do, people are just going to be happy to, exchange, and our negotiations will go well. And that physical health, I'm going to have time during the lunch break to swim. And then I plan, so that you've got to be one to make goals. Remember, we did that information in the past. They did a study from Harvard about people that made goals starting in early college days, and they followed them for years and years afterwards. And people that just made goals did better in all areas of their lives. And that included health and longevity. So all the longevity people, listen up. You need to be making goals each day. So when you're breathing in and out, and you're breathing out the worry, concern, upset, you need to add some things to it to make it stronger, so that you become more powerful, so that it shrinks. So one of the things I've always done is I made up my own little dragon of what the thalamus and the hypothalamus and all the different amygdala, the little fear response things that gets conditioned. Same things get conditioned in a dog, as a matter of fact. But we're not dogs, so you're not supposed to let that happen. You're supposed to be the dog trainer. So if you're going to train it, you can see he's training this dog here. He's training this dragon. So I just found my own, and I carry it around, or I give it to people. It looks like this. See this little guy here? So this is my little dragon over here. Look over here. If you look on the camera, I sort of put a small person right here so that you can always have the experience, if you carry your little matrix dragon around with you, that it's not really that big of a deal. It's a tiny thing. I mean, if you wake up in the morning and you look at this, you're not going to freak out and go, oh, I'm worried, I'm scared. I'm go, oh yeah, whatever I'm worried about, it's only because I'm allowing this little thing to expand out of my imagination, out of my allowing myself to just keep having a loop inside the fear response, which absolutely you can stop. Then you're going to say, no, it's not that easy to stop. I agree with you, not in the beginning, but it will be in a few minutes. So is it easy to stop? Well, there's a few facts that you want to know. One is that the matrix was never supposed to be something that destroyed the functioning of the planet. Actually, it was supposed to be the opposite. It was just supposed to be the spice that makes your chili or your spice of life, your excitement, that's fun and a chance for you to expand. It's supposed to be an opportunity like a mogul when you're skiing that gives you a chance to lift up or lift around or go through. So many different ways to find out how wonderful you are in your real self. But your real self is not this. It's not the fear, upset, worry, feeling alone, feeling like there's no way out, I'm stuck. And we're going to go through what those things are, but I want you to start to recognize what you're not. And all those things that you're not is this, unless you think you want to be this. Does anybody want to be this? Does anybody out there want to be this? Please raise your hand. Because I can imagine you wanting to be this little tiny, inconsequential dweeb who's powerless, but is still a reactivation thing that gets conditioned. That's the same dweeb that's inside of a dog. So the first thing you need to know is you get perspective. And this is the steps on our way to happiness. First step in all happiness is you have to enter reality. Because if someone's serving you some food that's rotten, you have to be in reality, smell it, so that you can tell, oh, I don't think I want to eat this. So what would be a way that we could start to get you some separation between you and this reactivity that pushes your brain out of its functioning and drives you back down into the animal brain? Well, first, recognize this is what it's the size it's supposed to be. So you can carry yours around with you and draw a picture, or just have one little guy and just say, whatever's bugging me, it's supposed to be like this. And the only way to have it be like that is you need to recognize that there's a huge downside to not doing the practice for this. And there's a huge upside with rewards to doing the practices. So we're about to get a big step up the route towards happiness and having all our grade 8. And so I had some facts I wrote down here, and I wanted you to see them. But they did a study on just what is a historical study, a meta study. It was also done an active study with volunteers. And the costs, they said, of having people respond to questions or functioning, all types of tests on how your body works, your brain works, is really interfered with if you're constantly being trashed by your emotions, your concerns, your fears, your reptilian brain, which is just going to react. It's going to eat it, or it's going to run away from it, or it's going to pull out so that you got brain fog. But you're not going to be able to pass your exams for anything. And we just had a lady who's on her way to being a facilitator, and she had this huge exam she had to take, huge exam in her company that most people study for months and months to do it. But she just used all the practices which you're learning today, and more coming, and then she was able to do the entire test with minimal to nil studying, and she passed and was succeeded. And so she got her next degree, an increase in salary and more free time. So these techniques really work in the present time. But if you're thinking you're not a human being, then you can just kick back and do the first word I gave you, which is denial. You can't deny you've got a job here. Your job is you're the chooser, and you have to choose one or the other. You're going to be on the white side with all the energy and just a little bit of spice of life, a little excitement, or are you going to be in the side where it's all not working, it's all losing, although you think you're winning, but then, what goes around comes around. So if you think you're winning, but it's really, it's not win-win-win for all three locations, then it'll turn around that you'll end up being losing. And then maybe somebody else will be winning, or you'll both be losing, or the environment and you'll be losing. But the fact is, you can't deny, which is another word I gave you, that you are going to win as long as you use reality and use your wonderful energy access with all the sensors that are not just in your brain, but they're like all over your body. Your intestine has been now labeled as one of the biggest brains and endocrine organs that's in your body. And nobody even thought about that in the past. They made a joke about it. And same thing that has to do with your DNA. There's only a certain percentage of your DNA that people really have decided they know what it does. The rest of it, which is the most of it, they have no clue what it does. They thought it was extra DNA, but extra for what? They didn't figure it out. So there's so much that's not figured out because it isn't what's important right now. What's important is you taking over your life from a cognitive, conscious level, starting now, make that commitment that you're going to keep breathing and recognizing you're breathing, that you're going to breathe out, anger, irritation, I'm stuck, fear, and breathe in calmness, clarity, being ahead of schedule. You do that 3 or 4 times, and all of a sudden you write a goal and it'll blow you away. It'll be so much more brilliant than anything that you can think of. Even when you think you're stuck, you'll come up with a goal that'll go like, oh wait, but that could work for win-win. So write down, I don't want to be a dog. I'm not a dog. Therefore, I'm not going to be using the reptilian brain. I'm going to use the genius, Einstein energy part of my brain. And so I don't need a pack leader to tell me what to do. I'm going to choose by looking at the data as to what's really there. And that's going to make me an expert at saying, oh, I want to go here, I want to go there. And when you're skiing, sometimes you ski in the morning at 8 in the morning, and then maybe by the time you come back to that same mountain, it's 4 hours later. It's completely different snow. It's completely iced, and there's rocks, and there's places you can't ski. Does that mean you've ruined your day? No, it's just another adjustment, keyword, adjustment, to allow you to expand by learning, oh, now this is the case. But if you ignore that, then that's the denial that you don't have a job. So you've got your job, which is, I'm not a dog. The dog is the matrix, and I'm going to train the matrix to be a good dog and not bother me and just give me information if there is anything there. But all you need to do is wake up. And so we've got that. And what are the ways that you wouldn't wake up? Well, let's say that you had a bad dream or something, and there was a study done on things that go through the amygdala and the parts of your brain that freak out with too much, epinephrine and cortisol. And you know the basics: shame, guilt, fear, or bravado, like Faust. I can do anything. I'm ahead of the game. Nothing matters. No, those are all win-lose games that turn around that you lose later. But that's not all. You could have the withdrawal thing. Well, what's the withdrawal thing? Oh, well, I'm just too stupid. I mean, my parents never said I was that smart, or my teacher said I wasn't that smart, or really obnoxious things that the little kid, as the brain's developing, thinks that these adults, because they're bigger, somehow have the key to how to become a great adult. So you're going to write that down and put an X through it. Get it through your head. There's no adults on this planet. It's all a learning planet. Starts at an early age, using the energy, and we all just keep learning. And even Christ said, be like a child. What he was saying is stay learning. Don't think that there's any place where all of a sudden the ocean's going to stop changing all the time, or that your luck or that your serendipity is not trying to expand all the time. But at the same moment, you go, well, what about the bad things trying to expand? But you get to choose how you're protected from that by your breathing and by you consciously choosing what side of the yin-yang symbol you want to be on at any time. So let's start out with this little guy is all of my emotions and all of my thoughts. And you're going to say, well, wait a minute, don't you ever have a good thought or a good emotion? We'll see. But at least it's not definitely me. It's something here which comes in and either stays conditioned in the brain because somebody scared you when you were a kid and they threatened you when they weren't going to kill you, but you thought they were, so you've been like a pleaser your whole life. And you go around trying to make people happy, but that only comes from this. That's not the real you, because the real you needs a break. Because if you look at your scores on your exercise watches, your exercise rings, it shows you when you're stressed out and your heart rate's up and your HRV is no good. So all this is going to destroy you if you don't get it. So what is the truth is that the scientific statement is this: disregarding, remember that's like denying, the long-term real benefits of success when you're doing win-win-win behavior, which requires you to be alert, aware, and accurate. And that means both things that you say out loud to other people and to things that you do, and also things that you say and feel on the inside. All of that is this little guy. It's nothing big. And it's not your boss. You're the boss. You're the trainer. So if you disregard that you got these huge long-term rewards by just learning this, and your life is going to be just so wonderful, and instead fall for the easy route, which is the one that is sort of mass hysteria, which is, okay, well, the other lady on the neighborhood is doing it, and so somebody else is doing it. I don't want to be left out because I need this other person. No, you don't. You don't even need to be an adult because there aren't any. It's always a learning process. So she or he is no more of an adult than you. You get to decide. Emerson said that. Recognize where is your real self, the powerful one that takes the energy in and gets all these grade 8 every day for you. So you've got internal, you've got external information from other people, all of it suspect. All of it, you can't say that you're going to run away from it. You can't say you're going to run towards it. You're going to recognize if you have some confusion. I'm going to breathe in clarity, breathe out confusion and fear. Breathe in clarity, breathe out confusion and fear. All those things are things that you picked up because some person said they did it. And where did they get it? From somebody else before them in some other generation who also did it from some other generation and back and farther. And so all of history shows the same thing. So duh. Do you need to keep continuing that? It's time for waking up. And so if you fall for being reactive, the quick choice, like whatever I feel I'm going to do. If it feels right, do it. Whatever I think I'm going to do it. Or this is because this is what I learned when I was in someplace. No, it's not true at all. It doesn't work. You have to keep checking, and that's why you need your being alert and aware, and that's why you need to keep doing your practices, your physical practices. I'm going to show you some later. It's also breathing practices. All of those are important so that you're doing win-win-win. Otherwise, you will lose. Maybe not short term, maybe in the beginning, you may look like you're winning when, say, you push a bunch of people around, that you're in some place, and because all of a sudden you were very successful financially and you built some structures and things, and then those people eventually will leave you because they won't want to be around because there's no benefit for them because you're manipulating them by power rather than having a peer-to-peer relationship where it's a win for them also. So let's go through the things that make up this little guy because they're all easy to handle as long as you decide to breathe in strength, breathe in relationships of love and support from people that I can call during the day, breathe in serendipity is going to work out through the day, and then breathe out, this is all the stuff that's all the matrix stuff, breathe out stress, breathe out worry, and you just keep doing that. And then as you keep allowing the experience of energy to keep coming into you, you'll notice that your body starts to relax more and more, like in the guided breathing visualizations, but you don't have to wait till then. You can be active all day long so that you get stronger and stronger. It just keeps separating yourself from this reactive short-term reward, which is really always going to end up in a punishment later because it's inaccurate, or a longer term, which could mean minutes or hours or days reward, but it's made by you becoming a very astute energy antenna that's pulling in through all your sensors, all the stuff to revive yourself to become really goal-oriented and able each minute to have things occur. And if you don't make the goals, the result is the matrix is the default because on automatic, that's the animal, and animals are automatic. So you could say, well, wait a minute, animals are automatic. So it means they're sort of like automatons. Yeah, this is true. You can feel the love animals have, but a lot of their way of connecting is pretty much automatic. It's pretty much conditioned, and that part of the brain deals well with that. Like I'm in my place in the pack, I'm third back, somebody else is the pack leader. I'm humble or lay my belly open if I want to show them that I'm not going to be fighting them, or you snarl if you are going to fight. But there's only three things that are going on. It's all machinery. Machinery means that it operates according to a certain number of properties, and that's it. It doesn't all of a sudden become an eggplant or all of a sudden become, winning the relationship of of your dreams. So there's punishment that goes along with not separating yourself and not separating the matrix out to being just some little guy who you're now going to breathe out whatever his thoughts or emotions, and then say, I'll choose once I can see what's accurate. So just like you would with a dog. The dog came in and was going bark, bark, bark. You say, okay, hold on, relax. And you've seen that with dog trainers. They come in to the most upset dog owner, and as soon as the dog trainer gets around the dog goes, and it's very peaceful. Because the communication, again, the vibrations of existence, we're all vibrations, even though you think this is all solid, it's all vibrations with the solid part of it. But it's all made up by vibrations that are continuously going, or else it's death. And so the vibrations that the trainer comes in with is that, okay, doggy, it's nice to see you, and I'm the human here. You're in the animal kingdom, and so we're going to manage you, you're going to be part of this household, and there's a few basic rules. And the dog goes, okay. But the master who just bought the dog doesn't know anything, keeps going, well, the dog will just learn it from whom? Not unless you take your position as being the one who's training the matrix what you want it to do. Because remember, the matrix is not going to go away, it's just going to be compartmentalized in a place that really works. So what are some of the things that are going to be recurrent that you need to just be ready for? So it means that you're going to go, okay, I'm going to breathe that out. I'm not going to use that because that's a loser game. There's penalties for that. And then I'm going to breathe in whatever it is in the grade 8 that would really help you, like clarity, genius, Einstein brain, being able to communicate effectively, being a flow and zone all the time, and being smooth, effective, efficient, being happy and looking forward to life at all times. So you want to write these down, but the answer to all of these is let go. In other words, let go of them being you. Let go of them being you and just place them where they belong, which is they're that black dot, this little guy, the matrix, that is what's holding that. And I mean, really, you're going to be that interested in being like this guy? I don't think so. I think you'd rather be this wonderful self. So I have the list here. Let me give them to you. But they all relate to you getting your grade 8. And throughout your parents and your parents' parents, and your grandparents, your great-grandparents, you can find all kinds of threads that have gone through families where everybody has, the same sinusitis, and yet on X-ray, there's nothing there. But people felt, if I'm going to be loyal to my ancestors, the tribe, which is that old pack phenomenon, that's not the advancement of an energy being. That's still going back to dog, that I'm going to be loyal, so I'll just follow that, even though it's not me. And many people can remember when they just sort of gave up being me and decided to be whatever somebody said that you were supposed to be, like maybe a pleaser, and you just did that your whole life because you felt like you were safer then. But you're totally unsafe now doing that, and it may at that time have been somewhat of a solution, but not until maybe for 1 or 2 days. And then after that, being a pleaser is just totally inappropriate. It's just something you're on automatic doing. So these are the things that I want you to write down. And what you're going to do is you're going to verify each one of these, and then you're going to let go of it by doing your breathing exercise. So one of them is gossip. So if somebody starts gossiping to you, it doesn't matter where it is, you're going to go, uh-oh, there's information. So what's the matrix? Massive misinformation. Gossip means unverified, just somebody's rumor. So it's this again. So this little guy's gossiping. You're going to go, okay, gossip, let go of it as accurate. In other words, let go of it having to have some fear response. Let go of the fear. Let go of the confusion. Let go of the worry about this person, your job, whatever. And breathe in certainty that you're going to look at the data. Breathe in the energy to have a clear head. Breathe in the energy to find the quickest source to find out, is this rumor true or false? And then go find out. And then you might find out that not only is the rumor false, but that person was just trying to manipulate you to get you freaked out. And they thought it was funny. And what percentage of the population is like that? Large. Large percentage of the population thinks it's fun to bounce around into driving each other into the matrix and watching you explode. Just because they go, There's no other choice. But once you see that there is the choice, then you start winning because everyone wins. The other thing to write down is shame. So every time you feel shamed, and you know what shaming is, it's like you're no good. And I've heard people say that. I've heard people say that they feel that they're just the wrong person to be doing whatever the job is they're doing or whatever the thing is that they wanted to do, but they feel like they don't have what it takes to do it. And I said, okay, I'm willing to let you leave, it's fine, but have you ever tried a week of using your goals and seeing how much you could expand in your abilities? And what does shame mean? Shame means that there's something defective in you, not your approach. And it's never true. So you want to let go of shame. So if shame comes up where I'm feeling like, I don't know, I feel like I'm really odd man out here. I feel like I don't fit in or something. Let go of that as being you. Recognize that the you is nothing other than what your approach is. And your approach with the energy is going to allow you to pick whether that shaming has anything to do with you at all. And it never does. And so then you got to find out, well, then what is real here that I got to be connected to? So the words let go is going to be part of your breathing. So you'll breathe in self-confidence, breathe in that I can find out reality, and let go of that I have to be Superman or Superwoman to be able to even do that. Okay, what's another one? You want to write guilt. So guilt is some people just feel bad in certain situations. I know one person that feels bad if you just raise your tone. If you're too excited, they feel guilty, like, why are you yelling at me? And some people are just loud from certain parts of the country, or they may have just come from a situation where everybody was loud. And then if you start yelling at that rate, people who notify you, they deserve an apology. But the thing is that you certainly don't need to have that person feel guilty, or you don't need to feel guilty because you made a mistake, because this is a mistake-learned planet. You're on a learning planet, so you don't get to feel guilty. This thing is guilt, and you're going to go, let go of this guy, just let go of him, and bring in that, I'm really fine. I'm okay, and I can figure out, this is the one thing you would definitely want to write down because it's the next step up the mountain, solution. But remember, if you had a solution, you wouldn't have any of these feelings. You're not going to feel guilty about a solution. You're not going to feel shame if I have a solution. You're not going to feel worry. You're not going to gossip. You don't have a solution. What's the solution means? I know the truth on how to solve this and move on and get the rest of my grade 8 today, which is what you're supposed to be doing down here, using more energy every day. So what else is there? Somehow there's this genuine hysteria that everybody is rallying around either this candidate or this thing that we're going to do, or that we're going to go to war. And people go, there's this whole group thinking that we should do something. When they researched it, they found out there was no weapons of mass destruction. Oh, well, there was some other reason to go there because there was some other threat. No, there was no other threat. Well, there was some value. There was no value. So the whole thing was just a big cost expensive thing that was made up based on rallying behind something that wasn't determined as whether it's accurate or not. I mean, really go to war? Blow people up? And everybody's going, yay, look at those explosions, we're winning. Really? Would you want to be winning at something that has no basis whatsoever? So rallying around anything that because everybody else is doing it, and you would tell your kids that when they're at school and everybody's smoking dope or whatever they're doing on the breaks, you say, that's not for us. You've got a future ahead of you. You don't want to pollute your brain. So inside your head, you may have all kinds of feelings and noises or outside, but don't rally behind them. And also, don't deny that they're there. That's the big problem, is that people go, I'm just not going to think about it. That's that withdrawal thing. Open your belly and pray that nobody's going to hurt you because you act like a victim. No, don't do that. So don't lie about whatever feelings you're having inside. You're just going to check them out. I have this feeling, I'm terrified. Okay, good, I got it. That's what this is. So little guy, you're terrified. Do we have any facts basis? Let's let go of that for a moment. You can always bring it back. Breathe it out. Let go of terror. bring in clarity, bring in strength, bring in more energy so that I'm balanced, being in the zone and flow. And then all of a sudden you're going, wait a minute, terror is never a solution, and solution's always the answer on how to get out of this situation about what's the right answer for a decision. So what would be the solution to the situation in front of me? Terror isn't it? That's just blocking your brain. So lying that there's a way to get out of it without looking at the data is, or ignoring that, or returning to the animal way of just you're going to get lucky and just react, and it's going to work. This is not going to happen. So another one is ridiculing. Now, this is probably the most popular thing among people that I meet. They just are so tough on themselves. And you know how you can tell how tough they are on themselves? Is they don't have to tell me. They tell me how tough they are on everybody else. And I say, oh, so you're upset at all these people. How are you about being upset about yourself? And they go, oh, I'm terrible with myself. If I do anything wrong, I'm screaming at myself, yelling, how could you drop that? How could you do that? And I said, is that a solution? They go, no. But I feel that I deserve it. Why? I don't know. So that's just a feeling again. So all my feelings exist in here until I can verify them. All my thoughts exist in here. Just like with, the great Lohan here and the dragon. The dragons, it all exists outside of you, and you only incorporate it. You only go over the top of that mogul if you think that's the way you want to ski it. You don't just ram yourself into it. So you're in control. You're the dog trainer. You're the amygdala trainer. So criticizing yourself is the most popular thing that goes on in the Matrix. And people, when they're trying to get people to rally, you always say, okay, we need an enemy. Okay, so the far right or the far left or the far center, whatever it is. And there's all these stories about who's the enemy. And then that gets your juices going. And then you react. You lose. You get punished. There will be penalties. And so many people have such a history of upset with the fact that the world has had so much pain in it. But the pain always has been related to reactivity, not being alert and aware and being able to use the energy to pick a win-win-win solution, because that's what's rewarded on this planet. One of the other things that people use is, well, we're the good ones here. We're the original founders. And so you become moralizing. You don't need religion to be moral. You can be moralizing like, oh, our philosophy is the right thing, and this is the way you should be, or I'm the loudest person here. Whatever. What's important is what's the ocean today? And if you're not going to be alert and aware, you're dying. You're off. So not only do you want to be criticizing other people or criticizing yourself, but also you don't want to be moralizing. And so many people who call themselves adults moralize. They go, we don't do that around here. And there was a movie, it's called Office Space. And the problem with this movie is that there's so many rules, and there's one on top of the other. It's British humor, so it's like it goes really fast, but it's funny, but also disgusting because no one makes any sense. Everybody's just an automaton. What is an automaton? You're operating, you're kicking back and just saying, oh, I don't have to choose. If you don't choose, it's a choice for reptiles, a choice for amygdala, which means you will lose. So you better wake up that it's time for you to put your real alertness on and get with it. And that may require getting 9 hours sleep a night just so your body works functionally. But it's been shown, if you get the right amount of sleep and your body recovers, that everything else will improve. You'll clean out your liver, you'll clean out your lungs, clean out your brain. You'll live longer, you'll be healthier. You don't even have to follow so many strict other rules, because if you're getting the right amount of sleep, the right amount of time for fun, and the right amount of time for health, that so many things are going to work the way you want them to. So the last one is, I don't like, and fill in the blank. I don't respect, fill in the blank. And there's nothing wrong with saying that I made a mistake. Yeah, you're going to make a mistake every day. And you need to learn from that. And you'll make amends for any mistakes. You'll discuss it with the people and see what's rational. And if you're with a wonderful 10% of the population that's rational and wants to have things be win-win-win, then you're going to have a good company. You're going to have good results. You don't need to read a business book. It's helped to read a business book, but Drucker will tell you the genius of all this. is the person someone who's in reactivity and just conditioned that they're always going to do this? Are they open to learning? Because this is a learning planet. And how do you learn? By using the energy. So many people think that it's fun to have these things come up on your watch or on your computer that's positive statements like, I love myself. Today's going to be a good day because I'm a really good person. And when I ask these people, I say, I like to look at those too. So I say, they're fun. I said, but when you look at those, what does this little guy say? And they say, oh, no, there's no, I read them and I say, yes, that's what I'm going to do. I said, that's what you say, but what is the reaction before you say that? Listen and see. And so then and I'll say, wait till another one of those statements comes up. And so one of them comes up that says, I'm always going to be coming out ahead, And I said, now, what does it say inside your head? And they go, well, how do you know it's going to be bad? I go, how do you know it's going to be good? You have to check. Stop being this rallying behind that you don't have to be a human being. You don't have to be the trainer or the dog of the matrix. So there's so much that's waiting for you for success and happiness and love. And all that's necessary between now and next time is that if you do the practices where you choose that with each breath that you go through the day, you'll pick things out that you would like to gap up on, and you'll start finding your solutions, which is going to make it work. And as long as solutions win-win-win, you can bring in the energy and it'll take over. But the solution comes on, I'm going to cut corners and I don't really think I have to figure this out. No, then there will be a penalty because it's set up on this planet that pain wakes us up to that we're going the wrong direction. And rewards acknowledge us to let us know, yay, you did it. And so the reward that you're going to be working on next time as we come together, as we're going up to the next step towards happiness, is that how many times do you think that whatever you're doing, one of the things you should be breathing in to your equation, besides being in zone and flow, is having a real looking forward to a positive, fun expression of your life. In other words, everything has to be fun. People go, are you kidding me? It's not fun at all. I go, okay, let's change that. You change it, Doc. I said, no, you're going to change it. I'll just show you how to put that in the equation. And then people say, you mean me just putting this in this equation? I'm going to go more into this next time, especially in terms of relationships and happiness. But fun has got to be included in what you're doing for your work, what you're doing with your play, what you're doing with your relationships, is one of the key factors that means that you are going to reach that point where it was worth it for you to either do that job or not do that job, have that relationship or not have the relationship. In other words, if each moment you're being fed by the fun of realization that this is win-win and I'm pulling in more energy and it works for me and works for the people around me, it's not a cognitive thing. You physically start noticing that you're smiling. You're actually smiling spontaneously. And I want you to get that experience that's going to be happening the more and more you bring in the energy. And you'll notice with the guided breathing visualizations, the rapid transformation vibrational techniques, that's what's happening. The vibrations keep opening and emanating more sensors until finally your face takes on this gentle smile. And then you know you're really moving up the groove towards happiness. So let's do a breathing practice right now. Close your eyes. Take everything off your lap. You can lie down, you can sit. And the most important thing here is that you take a deep breath and notice that once again, you're the boss, you're the dog trainer, you're the trainer of this little guy here. The whole matrix exists in this. And you're going to say, well, wait, is the matrix always what I'm dealing with? You don't know. Somebody may give you, I was on an airplane once, somebody gave me the winning horse in a horse race, the fourth race on Wednesday. And he was going to Vegas. He said, you want to win? I said, yeah, I've never bet on a horse race and won. He says, bet on this horse. I said, okay, I'll try it. So my cousin was with me, and so we did the bet. He said, you're going to take that guy's advice? I go, I don't know who to bet on, and maybe. But I was willing to lose the $2, but I was also thought it might be fun since this guy, that was his business, maybe. I wasn't going to bet the ranch. Remember, little bit by bit. you make your decisions. You learn step by step. And so what was so wonderful was I'm not taking his advice as the shame or guilt that he knows more than me. I'm taking his advice because I just thought I'd try it out. But I tested a small piece. So it's always a little bit and verify, a little bit and verify. So as you take a deep breath in, say that I'd like to breathe out these things and breathe in, whatever you consider the opposite. And the way I'm going to breathe them out is on the breathing out, I'm just going to say, let go. So deep breath in, and let's bring in truth. And then breathe out, let go of gossip. Just let it go to the universe, give it back. And some people, we talked about being loyal before. Just because you had an uncle or a caretaker or somebody and as you were growing up that said, no, this is the way it has to be done. Well, that's okay for them, but you get your life too. You want to be fair, you want to be loyal to them? What is loyalty if what they're doing is self-destructive? That's not being someone helping someone out. So you really want to wake up also and be the example in your life that you're winning. All right, with your eyes closed, now take a deep breath in and breathe in self-respect. I'm adequate for whatever job. So all I need to do is learn. And let go of shaming that there's something wrong with me, that I can't pull it off. Somehow I'm the one that's defective. Let that go. Breathe that out. Okay, let's breathe in that I'm able to learn on every single thing that happens, and breathe out, let go of guilt, that oh gosh, you shouldn't have done whatever happened. I mean, good old George Washington, he wasn't into guilt, so he told his dad, I chopped down the cherry tree, that was a mistake. He still made it to president. They wanted to make him emperor. So I think he didn't stop because he made one mistake, because he knew the mistakes was how you learn. You can't learn, though, if you block your brain with all that epinephrine with guilt. So you have to let go of guilt. Not that, and someone say, well, you mean you should never feel guilty if something terrible happened? No, there's such a thing as appropriate remorse for something, but that's still not the solution. The solution is how you make amends, how you're going to change your behavior in the future, and how you're going to change the behavior of whatever, maybe something's wrong with your car, or something was wrong with a device in your house, or something. But you don't go about, the guilt isn't the solution. So you really need to let go of these emotions and thoughts, but you have to identify them first. That's the part that everybody has missed for centuries, which is that I'll just get along the way I'm doing it, and that's sufficient. No, you're only going to get along as a person who's always a learning individual. There's no such thing as reaching adult. There's no adult that knows anything, because the next day it's going to change again. And once you catch that, you can always be learning, then you'll be always young, forever young. You've got to be flexible. And that's one of the grade 8 also, that I'm going to get stronger and more flexible and more able. And I told you about doing the sumo deadlifts. As you're breathing now, let go of being stuck. Let go of rallying behind everybody else is doing it. Warren Buffett, the famous investor, said, if everybody's doing it, I'm definitely not doing it. He says, I'm definitely not doing it. That's how wrong, and the statistics are that over 80 to 90% of the people will still fall for that. And that's what allows so many things that are incorrect, like Madoff and all those other people, that just got everybody to rally around. Everybody's doing it. So every person who was in show business invested in Madoff and they lost money. So even if Madoff says he's making all this money, it doesn't matter. You're going to look, say, can I verify that? And you look at your little guy and you go, well, this guy, he doesn't look like he's been verified. I need to check it out. So someone says, no, you have to rush and do it now. If you don't get it now, you won't make it. It's been shown that rushing through anything is still reactivity. And that means that even if you do get the result, it won't be sufficient, adequate, complete, and therefore there'll be a penalization. You'll be losing somehow. So you want to put yourself in the groove, in the zone, in the flow. So let go of rushing, breathe in, zone, and flow. Let go of rushing, breathe in, zone, and flow. Okay, what about being hard on yourself, ridiculing yourself, criticizing yourself? I only did 4 push-ups today. I don't know what's wrong. Something's wrong with me. I didn't get enough sleep. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Just look at this little guy saying all that. I didn't get enough sleep. Grumble. It means nothing. There's no solution there. It's, again, extraneous information that has nothing to do with you getting a solution. Therefore, it's worthless. Therefore, it's part of the historical loyalty program of, 10 years ago, this is the way they did it, and so you're going to have to do it this way, and that's not true. Makes no sense. There's no chance for growth and advancement, and the whole planet's about that, day by day. So with your eyes closed, let's take a deep breath in on awake and aware, alert, Einstein brain. Breathe it in, and then breathe out, that there's some kind of I'm better than other people, or other people are better than me, or I'm in the wrong clique, or I'm in the wrong crowd, or I was born with the wrong skin color, or the wrong religion, or I was born with the wrong nose, or the wrong this. No, none of that. That's completely incorrect. All that is just making up some mores, M-O-R-E-S, which goes along with moralizing, which is creating shibboleths, which is, things that people just put their faith in, which are absolutely made up. It's not even true. That's why I love the thing with from the Bible with Jesus when they really wanted to really destroy this one lady for having broken one of the laws that one of the people who was in power said that she needed to be stoned. And they say, okay, Jesus, if you're really so smart, what would you do? And so he was just fingering the sand or the dirt with his finger, and he was drawing, a calculation there. But he was just saying, afterwards, he says, he who has not ever sinned, let them throw the first stone. And then all of a sudden, this lady who's lying on the ground, face down, clothes are torn, at least according to the story, she's just barely clothed. She jumps because there's this thud. And what the thud was, everybody dropped their stone. Because no one was without sin, because sin just means mistake. This is a mistake planet. So this means matrix planet to teach you. Now, this is what the mistake looks like. Looks like this little guy who actually, would you really want to be that? Or do you want to be this guy who shows you with one finger, he's able to just, use the energy and control the whole situation. And you've seen dog trainers do that. Training your amygdala is the same thing. That's your job. And then you're just going to win and win and win. And you're going to show your kids and other people how you don't undermine yourself by trying to be reactive, but actually just pull in the energy. And then you're going to live a long time being successful in all your grade 8 because you're going to focus on each one of those every day. So let's lock this in now by just allowing yourself to just have a moment of letting go of all any negatives that are encumbering you. Could be, I'm tired. How long is this going to last? Is this ever going to be easy? I don't know. I'm confused. None of that's you. All that is just stuff that got conditioned in there, just like you condition a dog so that he'll eat from his bucket and not eat from the table. Same. Has nothing to do with making your decision in reality. So breathe deep and bring in fun. Bring in fun. I'm having fun learning. Breathe out aggravation. Breathe out criticism. Breathe out ridicule. Breathe in, I'm doing good, I'm doing good. I'm learning each day. Progress each day is what counts. Breathe out, let go. Use that word, let go, and let go of any shame or guilt. It's totally worthless. There's no solution in it. None of these reactive stances have any value to them. They all result in pain very quickly and regret. Doesn't mean that you can't get up and fix it, but how are you going to fix it? Use everything that you're doing right now and keep it going. Okay, now just allow yourself just to breathe deep down into your chest, into your back, all the way down into your waist, all the way down to your legs, and watch your whole body take the breath. You're going to see this is going to be something we're going to use in one of the physical practices. So just keep breathing all the way down from the top of your head, through all the spaces in your shoulders. Let your shoulders drop. Let your shoulder blades fall into your back pockets. And just let go of any physical thing that's in the way of your grade 8 on physicality. I don't need any arthritis. I don't need any tension. I don't need any headache. I don't need any pain. Let go of that. Breathe in strength. Breathe in energy, lifting, power, energy, wonderful, learning each moment power. And then just let yourself float. And as you're floating, just let go of any thoughts or any feelings, because you can pick them up later, but get practicing this letting go. Just let go. Let go again. Let go more. Anything you hold on to that you can't evaluate it. You've got to actually be open to go left, right, up, down, around, and then you're flexible, and flexibility and movement is more life and rewards. So see yourself doing cartwheels in the sky. See yourself doing flips up in the air in the sky. See yourself with zero gravity and just being able to roll around and do a spike and a jackknife. See yourself running fast and running up and down the space. See yourself jogging. See yourself swimming. See yourself dancing. See yourself laughing so much that you just can't believe how much fun it is to laugh, that belly laugh, which has already been shown to be healing a gazillion things in your body. See yourself breathing deep and laughing so deep that you just can't help but smile, and feel the smile cover your face now. And as you see that smile cover your face, breathe in more love and happiness and fun, something to look forward to. Breathe in that fun. And breathe out any resistance. Breathe out any negativity. Breathe out anything that's supposedly going to get in your way and you won't come up with a solution for. Breathe in your Einstein brain. Breathe out any brain fog, any unclarity, any I don't know the answer, or I'm not good with computers. Breathe out any resistances like that. Watch yourself do two-handed push-ups. Do it. Now watch yourself do two-finger push-ups on each hand. And smile and see yourself being happy, and then just roll around up and down throughout the sky, flying around. You have no limits when you just keep winning, because the energy just keeps lifting you up, up, up. Let yourself soar, soar. Letting go is fun. Putting in all the matrix conditioning for the animal reptilian brains, nothing to do with us. Give it back, give it back. Give it back to all those people and tell them to give it back to the people who gave it to them. They don't need it. You didn't need it. It's not working for you, and you deserve your own life, so let them give it back to whoever gave it to them. They deserve their own life. They'll appreciate you for that. Tell them it's okay. It's okay. You're just giving all those misformed ideas about something wrong about you or life or whatever, and that there's limited opportunity. Give all that back, any of the negatives, any of the resistances, because they're not supposed to be there. It's not you. It's supposed to be just something to stimulate you to learn to how to be even bigger and better and stronger. And see yourself hugging yourself. See yourself just thrilled that you're so able and that you're so much excitement in your life for you to look forward to. Breathe that in, and then let go of any I don't know about my age and whether I can get over my lumbago, and I don't know if I'm going to feel good tomorrow. Let go of all this predicting, that there's going to be negativity. See your finances just rolling in. Breathe that in, and then let go of any, difficulties in knowing how to make your finances work tomorrow. And just do it again and let go. And then feel the energy coming into your body. Let the energy just fill your whole body after you let go. Breathe in that strength. And then make a goal for what you want to have happen for the rest of today or this evening or tomorrow. Say in 2 areas, maybe in your physical or in your relationships, your financial. Just make a positive goal. But one of them would be doing these practices would definitely help and get solutions. And then let yourself just slowly float back down, floating down, 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 until you see yourself just sort of sitting on this warm, sandy beach, and the ocean is coming in and just gently warming your toes as it flushes through your toes and the sand gets washed off. And you sort of can recognize there's this tree above you way up on a hill that lets one of its leaves just sort of float down beneath one of the branches. And you know this is a time to keep your eyes closed and just rub your hands together, get a little friction, and then we're going to lock this in. And what is locking it in? It's just making the direction, the goal, the choice, rather than reactivity of when the good stuff is going and where it's going to stay. So let's put it over our eyes and bring it into your retina and your fovea centralis and your optic nerve, going all the way back to the chiasm, and then right around your anterior pituitary. Just take all that in. You choose. You must. Or else if you don't choose, that's a choice that the matrix gets to run it. And then smile as you feel more and more energy come in one way or another, and then put your hands over your chest. Just take that in. Let it roll in right through your aorta and the aortic valve and the tricuspid valve. Just take it into both the pulmonary arteries, the coronary arteries, the microvasculature, all of that. Just let all that let go of any resistances that has been blocking it and bring in the zone and flow and the getting better each moment. You can do that. You can choose it. Breathe it in. Let go of the other. Then rub your hands one last time and put it over your belly button. And here in the dantian area is a wonderful space where you can put your hands on top of each other, a few inches away, doesn't matter. But take it in and lock all this in. Why? Because you chose it. The little matrix guy I showed you, he's under your orders. So you're not choosing matrix, or you're choosing, I want health for my low back. And I want health for all my intestine. Because remember, your intestine's coming out to be the major brain and endocrine organ in the body. It's getting so much popularity. Wonderful. So let your intestine just light up with brilliance, light up with hormones, light up with wonderful, tight junctions so that your absorption is wonderful and you don't have malabsorption or leaky gut. And let anything that's in there that's a resistance There's no reason to keep it. You're not into keeping resistances. Let them all go. You're into checking and learning, checking and learning, checking and learning, which means you'll learn what's not working and find a solution. But certainly what's not working doesn't say anything about you. It just says that's the process of you becoming the dog trainer. The matrix trainer. And then with a deep breath of joy, happiness, feeling, growing, expanding, come back in the room. Thank you.